Right, so this is simple wages, right? A typist is paid a basic, this is just correction of from last week. I'm going to be moving a little faster. So a typist is paid a basic wage of $22.50 per hour for a 40-hour week. Calculate the typist basic wage. So this is like real life stuff. You are paid 22.50 per hour for a 40-hour week. Your basic wage will simply be 22.50 multiplied by 40. Right, so basic wage, right? Basic wage would be equal to 22.50 multiplied by 40. And what would we get here? Everybody good there?
Yes.
Right, simple stuff, right? Overtime is paid at 1.5 times the basic hourly rate. So your basic
Morning,
hourly rate, morning.
What number we reach?
We now start. This is number 15, right?
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
Right, good. So understand the terminology, right? Basic hourly rate was this. That's how much you are paid per hour. Okay, so they said overtime is paid at 1.5. Time and a half is 1.5 times the basic hourly rate. Calculate the overtime wage for 1 hour of overtime work. So I just said time and a half is 1.5. So you simply take this is your overtime hourly rate, right? Hourly rate. So this will be equal to 22.50, which is your basic hourly rate, multiplied by 1.5. Okay? You go to your calculator, you punch that in, tell me what are you getting for your overtime hourly rate. Y'all who didn't have it, y'all need to write, you know. Put number here with writing. Those who now start the class, you put number 15A, put the answer alone. You're not writing the question. Right, bro? Right? You who now start. Yo, you did it. You did it? All right, good, very good. But she wasn't here. I studied if we move in pace, you can always just watch the video, right? Let me move, right? When we go to the next topic, you will start it right. Right. So tell me what
So
is
the time and a half is that B doing, right?
Yeah, this is B 30.
33.75.
All right, very good. 33.75, right? To earn extra money, the typist decided to work overtime, right? So she working the overtime. The wage that she earned for overtime, if she worked for a total of 52 hours during a week, is what we want to find, right? Now, how much she making in normal time and basic time? What was her basic wage for the week? That was 900, right? So let me write on that because that's part of what we need to calculate, right? 900, that's her basic wage, right? How much overtime hours is within this 52 hours? 12, right? So what's the terminology? Overtime hours. That will be 52 minus what she works for in our basic week, which is 40 hours. That's how we get the 12. Right, Janae? So 12 hours is how much she works in overtime. But how much is she working for per hour in overtime? 33.75. So we're going to calculate her overtime wage, right? Overtime wage. That will be equal to 12 multiplied by 33.70.
So 405.
205. Proper thing. 205. Right? Everybody good here so far? Question done? Guys know what they asked us for, right?
I checking something wrong on my calculator.
Enough 405?
405, not 405.
Yes, sir, 400.
Why here 200?
I wonder if I
405.
going cuckoo.
But that's not what the question asked. The question want the wage she would. Oh yeah, they want the wage she would earn for overtime, right? This is what they wanted. I thought they wanted the total wage, but they just wanted the wage she would earn for overtime. So that's the answer. Everybody good there? Right? the total overtime hours she must work. Right. The total overtime hours she must work during a given week to earn a total of 1,440. Now, I'm now studying. I didn't want to put this up here now. I thought it was the total wage they wanted for the week, but they just wanted this. Right? Okay, guys? Right. So now we're going to calculate how much hours she must work to earn that. So now we need to figure out how many overtime, well, the overtime wage that is within that. How much did she make in the basic wage, which is what I just deleted from the question before? 900, right? So we're going to work out the overtime hours. Not hours, sorry, wage. Pay close attention to the terminology, right? So the overtime wage for this week would be 1,440 minus the 900. Everybody agrees? Which will give me 540. Everybody good there? This is your overtime wage. But how much are you working for per hour in overtime? 33.75. So if I want to, it's like I want to calculate back how much hours she did. So what am I doing? Am I multiplying or dividing? Dividing. So this is my overtime hours. So it will be the 540 divided by, because you want to work back the hours, right? 33.75. That's how much I'm working for per hour. And how many hours of overtime did I make if I earned 1,450? 16 flat?
Yeah.
Proper thing. Raise your hand if you was able to get all here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I get also.
Well, I know you wasn't here. She didn't. She said she could make it. You didn't do it, brother man? You do it, Mr. Man? Any back?
Yeah.
I don't like any back there, no. Come on, by me, Anna. Yesterday I had them chairs up and them chairs up, and we just full up the 2 rows in front. I should have done that today also. I expected more people to come today because yesterday I had plenty rain. So a lot of people stayed up. If me, I could remind to pause this. Press play. So the basic wage earned by a truck driver for a 40-hour week is that calculator's hourly rate. So we want to work back how much he is making per hour, right? So this is your basic hourly rate. Right, what are we doing? Divided 560 divided by 40 would tell me how much I'm earning per hour. How much did it work out to be?
14.
What? How much? 14?
1.4.
1.4. Everybody got there? Like how you wasn't here. This practical for you, right? This life, right? Right. So that's how much you're making per hour. For overtime work, the driver is paid 1.5 times the basic hourly rate. Please do not let these time and a half and double time terminology tie you up, right? Time and a half, 1.5 times the basic hourly rate, right? Double time is how much? 2, right? Triple time, 3 you're multiplying, right? Simple stuff. So the overtime work the driver is paid for 1.5 times the basic hourly rate. Calculate the overtime wage for 10 hours of overtime work. So we must first calculate the overtime hourly rate. These are, when you're doing consumer arithmetic especially, please put statements. CSEC requires statements, right? So overtime hourly rate.
So I got $14.
This supposed to be divided. Thank you. But minus, yes? Right, so overtime hourly rate is going to be equal to 1.5, because it's time and a half, times the basic hourly rate, which is 14. How much does this work out to be? 21, right? $21 is my overtime hourly rate. Okay, everybody good there? We move in. Right?
So I get us 210 from sir.
I don't know where you get to.
Please.
It's 10 hours, isn't it?
It's 10 hours here.
$21 is the overtime, the time
Right.
and a half. Multiplied by 10.
Right, so it's 21 per hour. So we now go and work out the rate, right? Not the weight, the rate.
Oh, right. Oh, gosh, I rushing the thing,
You're
boy.
rushing it. Yeah, overtime wage for 10 hours will now be 10 multiplied by 21, which will give you the 210 you just said, right? Everybody good here? Right? Somebody was writing, Selena, it was you? Where you wanted to write, Selena? People, or those CXC papers. Calculate the total wages earned by a truck driver for a 55-hour week. So we know that now you see they highlight the word total, right? Remember just now, I thought the question we were doing was total, but it just asked the overtime wage, right? So I'll put what the basic wage was. What was the basic wage? 560, right? So we know we had to add this. Everybody agrees? So let me work out the overtime hours. Overtime hours. What is the overtime hours? It will be 55 minus 40, which will be 15 hours, right? Okay. Then we can now proceed to work out our overtime wage. Overtime wage would be 15 multiplied by 21. And what we get here? 315? Yeah. 315. Everybody should be getting these things correct, eh? Right? John, you getting correct? Proper. If you do it, you would have get correct too, no? But that's thing get. Right, we moving, we ain't sticking. Right, God, boy, all this reading, right? Ria is paid at a rate of $13.50 per hour. During a certain week, you see how all the questions for all years CXC using 40? Right, she worked 40 hours. How much did she earn in that week? Simple. All that's my answers now. Again, I'm gonna put my work in there because I'm on recording, so. So what is this? How many should she earn for that week? So this is her basic wage, $13.50, which is her per hour rate, multiplied by 40. And what we get? 540. We didn't get 540 for some question before? Yeah. So let's see how CXC does repeat, eh? 540, right? Ria worked for 4 weeks in the month of August. Her gross earnings was $2,463.75. Her regular week comprised of 40 hours, and overtime was paid at time and a half or 1.5 times the hourly rate. Show that Ria worked for 15 hours of overtime in August. So she worked for 4 weeks, and her gross earnings was this. So let me multiply. So we need to find the basic wage for 4 weeks. All agree? Basic wage for 4 weeks, right? So that will be, how much was it? 540? 540 multiplied by 4. And what we getting here? 2160. Everybody good there? Yeah. Right, that's my basic wage for 4 weeks, right? Now, they said her regular week comprised of 40 hours and overtime is paid at time and a half. Let's find the overtime hourly rate. Overtime hourly rate. Right, so it is 1.5 times what is the basic hourly rate. What was it above? Anybody have it down? 1350, right? So 1.5 times 1350. What we getting here? Turn all again. 2025. Y'all get that? 2025. I forget another name, but remember your name again? Shanala and Shania. Shania easy. Right. 2025. Okay, so let me see what's going on here. Now we need to find how much the overtime wage was for the month. Everybody agrees? So, well, when I say month, it's 4 weeks. We're not sure if the 4 weeks was a full month, right? So this is the overtime. Plenty things to find here, boy. Overtime wage. So your overtime wage would be the 2463.75 minus what? What are you minusing from this? What are you minus, bro? John, what are you minus? You didn't do this one? But you understand what's going on here? So watch. This is This is how much she made in total for the month. So I will need to minus this from what to find out how much is remaining. The basic, right? Somebody said it, basic, right? What is the basic wage? You're following here, John? What's the basic wage up there for the 4 weeks? 2160. Boom, bam. 2160. So what we getting here for my overtime wage? 303 point. Well, you see, I watch it and writing, my real skills.
Second that, sir.
All right, nice. Wait, question done? No, they were the hours. So we found the overtime hourly rate. We have the overtime rate. So to find the overtime hours, what are we doing here? Huh?
So you're dividing?
Dividing. So to be the 303.75 divided by her hourly rate, which is 20.25. And what would we get?
15.
15 flat? Yeah. Right, 15 hours.
Yeah.
Proper thing. Preston, you did it? Carno, today is your first class too. You did it?
Yes, I do it.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't know good boy. I'm sorry, because look, I've got a bit of people who know study class and they did the worksheet. And I'll show you what I do. Sorry about that. Sorry, that's my fault. Right, there you go. Let me send this down. Right, let's see how back and I'll go down here. In August, 20% of Ria's gross earnings was deducted as tax. How much money does she have after the deduction, right? So we're going to hit out 20% of her gross earnings. So the gross earnings would be which one, boy? That would be 24,675, right? So let's find out her tax, right? So tax would be 20% of the gross earnings, which was what? 24 what? 63.75. And what we get when we work out this? Flat, or this is the 2 decimal places? Again, it like this straight or the 2 decimal places? Straight. All right, nice. You're working on a calculator. Bristol, boy. You see, I tell you. Tell you that to them. And you'll see how it will help you when we start to do the algebra. It's peace. Right, wait. I'm going up like if that's all there. How much money does she have after the deduction, right? So this is salary. Salary after tax. Right, what this will be? 2463.75 minus 492 point. And what this will be?
$1,971.
$1,971 flat, right?
I get that same thing too.
Yes, sir. Second.
Right, let's go. This class running fast, boy. But if you go finish it before half an hour gone already. All right, like much gas, more gas. Ria invested 219 of her earnings for 3 years at a rate of $4.5% per annum simple interest. How much interest does she receive after 3 years? We did simple interest. We know our simple interest formula. Somebody give me my simple interest formula.
Principal by rate by time over 100.
I'm going to put simple principal, yes. Simple interest would be equal to principal by rate by time all over 100. Right? Remind me, principal is how much you invest or borrow. Your rate would be your percent. Time is always in years. Everybody clear on these things? Right? Bro, talk to me. You good there? All right. So let me go.
So you can repeat that for me, please.
Let me write it. Principal is money invested or borrowed, right? Well, it's good to write these things over and over. Eh? Sisters, it's good to write these things. Write them now. You're about to write it next to the question. It's going to be back. Write it. Any kind of formula, any kind of definition is good to write it over and over so that it will stick. So this is money invested or borrowed. Right? Your rate is your percent. Right? And time is always in years. So even if it's like 6 months, you don't put 6, you put a half. That's half of a year. You must see, Harry, you must see it's feel real good how you make that transition from online to here. It's different, you know, to be here. Wait, boy, this thing's sticking, boy. Right, let go. So principal, what's the principal here? Somebody does give me it, right? So I put SI for simple interest down here, right?
219.
1900?
219.
219 multiplied by rate is what?
4.5.
Times 3 all over 100. Somebody give me my answer. Please work out the top first. Press equal, then divide by 100, right? 29.57. Were you getting 6.5?
I get 29.
5.65, so 5.7, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is two decimal places, right? So the number after the 6 is 5 or greater, so you must add 1 to the 6, right? And this is dollars. Right, what it did is actually simple interest here. How much interest does she receive here? That's it. That's it, right? Question done. Commission, right? We did all these last week. Oh, someone, anybody was writing? You was writing, John? Bro, what's the name again? You start last week. It's plenty names. All of them, let me tell you something. I just have more than 1,000 names, including my children in school. Because there's plenty of children teaching in school too. So there's so much names to remember. I think I remember everybody's name here. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks, sister. Right, children go to a rodeo camp during the Easter holidays. Miss Reka buys bananas and oranges for the children at the camp. Bananas cost $3.85 per kilogram. Miss Reka buys 25 kilograms of bananas and receives a discount of 12%. How much money does she spend on bananas, right? So let me see what's going on here. She buys 25 kilograms. What's the cost per kilogram? Mr. Josiah, you do my homework? But Josiah, Jovel, sorry. See how I get mixed up with names there? You do my homework? You home, eh? You was home all week, eh? You do my homework. But I kill him, but I tell her, here's 50% of the worker children who now start my class online. This is only 50%. If you ain't do your 50, I can almost not guarantee a pass, right? You have to do your part. So there we go. 385 multiplied by 25 is what we need to find out first. We need to find out how much sister paying for all these bananas, right? So this is cost of bananas, right? Wait, what's that? Bananas. Right, so it'll be 385 multiplied by 25. What are we getting here?
96.25.
Right. Now, what's going on here? She sees a discount of 12%. How much money does she spend on the bananas? So wait, this is cost of bananas before discount. For discount. Right? So this is a final cost, right? So it'll be 96. Wait. We have to work out the discount first. Yeah, we have to work out the discount. Just 12%. Or you could just multiply by 86%, right? You know that? Not 86, 88. If you multiply by 88%, you will get the answer. Because when you multiply by 88%, it already minus the 12%. Or you could just find 12% and minus it, right? But let me rock the 88%. So multiply by 88%. Let me put it in. Is actually like 100. Is like 100 minus the 12%, right? Over 100. And this works out to be 88, right? So let's put 88%. Right, 88. And what? So give me the final answer now. What was the final cost? $84.70. Everybody good there? You will
Yes.
get that when if you do the two ways, if you find 12% of this and then minus it, you'll get the same thing as if you just find 88% of this. Right? Heart, you good there? Rolling, right? Selena, was that?
No, I reach on final course.
All right, go ahead. You stay right there. Right, let go. Miss Rika spent $165.31 inclusive. You see this word? This word should be bolded. Right? You see that word inclusive is a very important word. We're going there. Okay, right there. Right. Inclusive of sales tax of 15% on oranges. Calculate the original price of oranges. So this already includes 15%. So I'm going to give already formula to deal with a figure that already includes the percent. What you do, you simply take, so this is the original cost. I could work it out in one go, right? Original cost. Watch it, right? It will be equal to 165.31 divided by the total percent, which includes the 15. So the original price would have been 100% plus, well, this new price here, you actually have to add the 50%. All right, above here, because some other watch me like, what is man talking about, right? So this your percent inclusive of tax would be the 100% for the original cost plus the 15%, right? Which will be 115%, right? All you have to do to get back the original cost is just divide by this 115%, right? Somebody punch in on the calculator for me, doing 165.31 divided by 115 over 100. That's 115%. So give me the cost before tax. It's supposed to be less than the 165.31.
So I get 143.75.
143.75. Somebody second that. Right? Or let's see how easy this is. So say I give you a cost and it includes 25% tax. And I tell you, give me the price before tax. We're simply divided by. If the tax is 25%, we're divided by 125% to get back the cost. So nobody's supposed to get problems with this after today. Eh? Okay? John, you understand where I come from there? Am I right? Okay, go down. All right, note. To calculate the original cost before tax. Hey, hold on. So to calculate the original cost before tax, we divide by 100% plus whatever your tax amount is, right? Okay, to get back the original value. Everybody clear there?
I don't know notes, sir.
Yeah, I must right. No stone left unturned. We calculated everything. Right. Mr. Allen and his wife has a wife and 3 children. His monthly salary during the year 2007 is $7,500. Calculate his annual salary. So if you're making that per month, what will be his annual salary? Excellent. Because we have 12 months in a year. You all know what the word annually means, right? Yeah, right? So annual salary will be 7,500 multiplied by 12, which will give me 90. Everybody good here? Annual salary, right? Let me see what they're asking for underneath here. Information on calculating income tax for 2007 is shown in the table below, right? So you have all these allowances here. So the husband getting 10,000, the wife getting 5,000. Each child, this is very important here. I don't understand why they don't bold these things, but each child will get 2,500. Tax rate is 25%, 22% of your taxable income. Taxable income now would be your annual salary minus the total allowances, right? Everybody good here? Everybody understands the table? Huh? So we're going on to the question now. Calculate Mr. Allen's total allowances, right? That looks very foodish, right? It looks like food. So total allowance would be equal to, what's the first allowance? I think 10,000 plus what? 5,000 plus 7. Well, let me put it working. It's 2,500 multiplied by, because how much children you have? 3. It's 2,500 per child, right, Brittany? So it's 25 by 3. So how much allowance this man getting for this family, right? 2,500, 22,500.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
I get that.
Nice. Right. That was the total allowance. Calculate Mr. Allen's income tax for 2007. What is his income tax? That would be this 22% of the, and we had to calculate taxable income, right? 22% of the taxable income. Look, my formula for taxable income here. Chanela, get it right? Nice. Right. So there we go. Good boy. Let's bowl in these things so I don't know what's going on here now. Right, there you go. So we're going to find taxable income first, right? Before we can even calculate this. Taxable income. Right? So it will be the yearly income. This what was it? Annual salary minus the allowance, right? Right. That's the formula that CSEC gave, eh? So 22,500. So how much is his taxable income here, my children? 67,500. Right? Everybody good there? So we need to work out his income taxes. Income tax is 22% of this, right? So income tax would be equal to 22 over 100 multiplied by 67500. How much is Mr. Allen's income tax?
14,850.
Second, that's it.
14,800
14,850.
I find them online people cracking more than here, boy. I'm telling them out in here. Them answered everything, you know. And Jeremiah answered too, right? I hear me others answer plenty too. I hear the others, man. There we go. What percentage of Mr. Allen's annual salary was paid in income tax? So this percentage is over off, right? So it's percentage of what? So you got right percentage, right? So it's percentage off. So you can immediately identify what coming underneath because it is, when you're working on percentage, is the is, whatever the is over the off, right? Got glitch in that corner there. Right, so the is over the off. So they already said it's off his annual salary. So you know 90,000 coming underneath here, right? So what percentage of Mr. Allen's annual salary was paid in income tax? What's his income tax?
16.5%.
I know this thing going mad, I know. Somebody done Christmas, I don't work it out.
I do that long time, 16.5%.
I do that.
16.5%, right? Second is somebody. Yeah? Right. So we good there. Rolling. I see some people writing, all right. Ooh, yeah, right. 40 cents on the dollar, right? So it's 40 cents multiplied by this will give me the property tax, right? Next year, it will increase by 10%. So for the following year, this would increase by 10%, right? Which is your property. It becomes like a property tax percent, but they're writing it in cents, right? How much will Mr. Beast have to pay this year and then next year? So for this year, part E, so this year is which year, boy? They didn't give you a year? All right, let me just put this year. This year would be 276900. I know what crazy people will multiply by 40. What I'm multiplying by, my children, if it's 40 cents?
0.40.
Or 0.40. You can put the next zero if you want. Don't need to put it, right? So how much property tax is Mr. Beast paying for this year?
1,107,600. 107,600.
That is
Second.
But I will long to it.
Yeah, that's plenty money, boy. And then for the next year, it went up by 10%. So we're going to calculate the property tax per dollar, right? So now put property tax in the dollar for next year. All right. So it's going to be 10% increase. So like 110% one time now. If it increases by 10%, it will be 100 plus the 10%. That will be the increase, right? So it's 110% multiply, not divide, like when we want to get back an amount, like what we did higher. So it's 110% of 40 cents. You can just put 40 cents. We know it's cents. We know when we multiply it's point, whatever, right? So we're again there. 110% of 40. How much cents? How much cents it is now?
44.
44, right? Yeah, that's the answer. So it's 44 cents in the dollar now, right? 44 cents.
So me do it so no bag get that 44.
Nice. I know what you do. You find 10% of 40 and then add it. You can't do it like that also. All you understand where I get the 110% from, right? Jenny, you understand where I get? All right. It went up by 10%. So that means if it going up by 10%, it'll be 100 plus the 10, it'll be 110%, right, Jenny? Cool, John, you good there? Right. Right, so in the dollar. That's how we just say property tax, right? In the dollar. So we now proceed to calculate how much you would have to pay. Okay. Right. So it's as the property tax. We have to calculate the tax for next year. Right, so if we waited a year, it would be 2769000 multiplied by 0.44. So what would it be? 360. Somebody second us, please.
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
Right, good. Everybody good? Yeah, people writing. Go ahead and for the recording. Okay, so it's 18, not 80. Right, so I'm going to say it again. So depreciation is when an asset goes down in value, right? Most times when you buy a vehicle, from the time you drive out the showroom, that vehicle is no longer worth what you paid for it, right? So, John,
So it go up a little bit.
Say that again, Selena.
It'll just go up a little bit.
Sure. No, but that question fine. No. Where you had to write? Look at here. What you had to write? Right, so we need to calculate if the value of the car depreciates by 8% each year. It's similar to how you calculate compound interest, right? But you're just not adding every year, you're minusing every year, right? So how much will the car be worth at the end of 2 years? So we're going to calculate the depreciation for year one, right? Depreciation. Wait, what would the car be worth at the end of 2 years? We could just use the formula now. If you all want, you could do it by the year, or you can calculate the depreciation. So you can use this formula here, and this will give you the value at the end of the 2 years, right? So the formula for depreciation, let me write it in red. Depreciation.
So I think you give it last week, the formulas.
Yeah, I gave you the formula, but I just write it over. Repetition is everything, in maths earlier. Repetition is everything. Writing stuff over and over is everything in maths, right? Depreciation value at end of, please write it over, given years, right? We call this value A. So this is the value at the end of the given years, right? So this will be P by, thank you. Oh, this is so great. Right, so 1 to the power of n. So I want to write these things over because these things are so important. P is what? P is like your value. So write it over. Right, so this is the value of the vehicle or asset at the beginning, right? R is the rate, right, or the percent. N number of years. And of course, A is value of vehicle at the end. Also want to put, like, if the question asks you to calculate the depreciation, I just keep staying. Right, so like if the question asks you to find the depreciation value, right? So your depreciation value would be equal to the P, which is the value, no, not the P, sorry, the A, which is, no, it's going down, sorry. So it's going to be the P. So it's going to be the P minus the A, right? P being the value at the beginning minus the value of N at the end will tell me how much my vehicle went down by, which is the depreciation value, okay? Everybody clear there? This question then asks the depreciation value. They ask how much will the car be worth at the end of 2 years, okay? So we're going to work that now. Let me send these down. Right, so we're going to find A here, the value at the end of the 2 years, right? So A will be equal to, what was the initial value of the vehicle or the value at the beginning of the period? What's the value of the vehicle at the beginning?
65,000.
So let's look. 65,000 by 1 minus, what was the rate? Anybody wrote it down? Let's scroll up.
8%.
Rate is 8%, right? Hey, these formulas, all I don't memorize these things, And that one thing I can't do for you, memorize things for you.
And book. And right,
Yeah, you can book and write. I mean, yeah, you're correct. For how much years?
2 years.
2 years.
Right. So you're using a calculator for this. Here you're using this calculator. You can punch it in just like how it is written, right? So you're putting in 65,000. You open your brackets, right? You press the 1 minus 8. You press the A over B, A and B over C nub and then you press the 100, right? Close the bracket. Then there's going to be a nub. It's either going to be x squared, I think. You just press x squared and you'll get the squared power, right? Write it as 1. Answer boy again. 55,000. Or wait, 55,000 how much? 0.16 dollars. 55,016 and how much cents?
50,000 people died of the Black Plague. We guess that? I think it's at 55,016.
Yeah, 55,016, right? Everybody get this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me, I get this? You work it, why do you work it, friend? Right, so you're supposed to get the same thing at the end. What did you get for the first year? So you find 8% of 65,000 and what you got? 58% of 65,000 is how much? You got 52,000 after minus. 8% of 65,000. You're supposed to find that, and then when you find that now, you have to minus it from 65,000. And you get a new value to roll into the next year. Yeah, so that can tie you up a little bit. So maybe just learn off the formula. And like sometimes the question asks for the depreciation value. So if I want to find how much the vehicle went down by, what would I minus? Well, 65,000 minus this, right? But the question did not ask that, so we're not going to look for, right? So let me go. The table below gives information on the values of the rates of depreciation for two motor vehicles, right? Motor vehicle initial value, yearly depreciation value after 1 year. So they want P first. So let me work out P first now, the value after 1 year. So value after 1 year, right? If it's just the first year, it will just be 40,000 multiplied by 12 over 100. What you get when you work out this?
4,800.
Yeah. Or we could do is because the value after 1 year, you could use the same formula. No, let's use the same formula, yes? Train all over that formula. Hold on. You're using the same formula, right? So it's P open bracket 1 minus R over 100 to the power of N, right? So there you go. The initial value is 40,000 by 1 minus 12 over 100. How much years? 1 year. Cool? Where again here? Talk to me. What is the value after 1 year? Anybody work it out? You know how to do this working, John? You know how to work a calculator to work that? All right. Come, punching. Christian, talk to me. Brittany. For much? No. Wait again. When you punch in this, you get 4,800.
I get 3,520.
Still for the first set, if it you just find 12% of 40,000, that is where you're going to get 4,800. That is what I said previously. But when you take away the 4,800, right? So when you take away the 4,800 from the 40,000, that is where you're using this formula. You're gonna get the final answer, which is 35,200.
Right. So you're supposed to get the final answer here. 32,000. Right. 32,200. That what you get when you work out this?
35,200.
That's 35,200.
Right, you're supposed to get the final answer. 35,200, right? Final answer. That's what we're supposed to get. We're not going to get the depreciation. Because the next way will be to work out the depreciation and then minus it. So when you find, I find 12% of 40,000, right? Again. Right. And then 4,000 minus 4,800 will give you 35,200. Cool? Christian, you're quiet. You get proper thing. Right, let's roll. The value of the taxi after 2 years. No, wait, we didn't find Q. This is what? No, this is P. We still have to find people Q. Right? Ooh, look at this one. They want the depreciation, the rate of depreciation, right? How much it went down by. Remember, this is the value after 1 year, right? So how you could do this? You could use the formula now. So you could actually say the initial value was 25,000. 25,000 I punch in the formula, right? 25,000 multiplied by 1 minus, we don't know the rate. So I'm going to put Q one time, Q over 100 to the power of 1, right? You can't do this, right? And then you'll just have to work it back. So you get 21,250, right? You just have to work it back. So the things you can do here, watch. This is what we're going to do next in algebra, right? But it's like you have to move everything. This 25,000, it's like you're multiplying 25,000 by that bracket. So you could carry this 25,000 to the right and do the opposite of multiply. What's the opposite of multiply? Right. So it'll be 1. Now, to the power of 1, you can actually just drop your brackets once you move that 2,500, right? So it'll be 1 minus Q over 100 is equal to 21,250 divided by 25,000, right? That's the first step there. This is algebra we do now. We have to find Q. Okay? Right. So I formed an equation in order to find Q now. So what am I doing here? I'm actually going to move this one. So watch it. This is plus 1. So if I carry plus 1 on this side, I have to do the opposite of plus, which is to take away. So watch it. Everything is as opposite. So let me move it, right? So let me leave this as 21,250 over 2,500. Does you want to get problems with John? Yeah. Right? And then you have minus 1 here. Right? Stay with me. The question and done. We still need to get rid of this 100 here. Now, what I will do is this negative could apply to either the Q or the 100. Right? So I can, when I move this 100 to this side, I can't move it with the negative, because this negative is like just minus this whole thing. I'm gonna put more center so we get confused. So this is the things we're rolling into next in algebra. Still find out we time running by Jesus Christ.
Up a little, please.
All right. So watch it. Q would actually be equal to, we're leaving this in bracket, 21,250 over 25000 minus 1, and I need to multiply by the negative 100. I brought the negative to get rid of it from the right. Okay? So punching this whole thing on a calculator and tell me again. We're supposed to get how much percent it is. Use your brackets for this here. For this negative here. This is not just minus, right? You have to press the plus or minus knob to get this negative 100. Otherwise, you'll get an error if you press the minus knob. So much percent is Q. This is algebra. This is a good little introduction to what we're going to do next. This is the hard stuff. Is that percent you're going to get? 100.85. Somebody will get over.
So 15%?
15, yeah. That's something correct. 15, eh? Yeah. We'll get over, bro. 15. Once you work what I tell you here, you're supposed to get it again, Jenny. 15%. John, make sure you get it. That's part of the process. And make sure you get it, sisters. You didn't close it. You get it, sister? But you get it. All right. Which one can you do? You find the depreciation. Right, so you get the depreciation. So, yeah, I was going to do that, but I was unrolling with the formula, so I just wanted to roll with the formula. But yeah, that's correct also. Right, so if we want the value of the taxi after 2 years, we must apply our formula. The initial value is 40,000. The percent is 12, right? So it'll be 12 over 100, and it's 2 years. Give me my final value for the car here, which is 8. What y'all got? Anybody work it already?
$30,976.
$30,976. Oh, thank the Lord, we done. I say we done. Wait, boy, it's not a question. Anybody else copying this? I'm like, do that question fast.
The next to the bracket by R over 100. Is that N on top or R?
Yeah, N, Selena. N will be the number of years. Right, last question for this worksheet, right? Number 30. The table below shows the number of tickets sold for a bus tour. Some items in the table are missing, right? So you're missing P, which is the cost per ticket. 5 tickets, total cost, this simple thing to find here, right? Q, which will be the total cost, and then R here will be the number of tickets sold. What kind of easy question is this, right? P, Q, and R. Come, give me the working for P. Anybody have it written down? You should have it written down. P is equal to, give me the working.
130.50 divided by 5 and you will get 26.10.
130.50
divided by the 5 and you'll get $26.10.
20
Second answer.
And 10 cents.
Q, let me do Q one time. Give me the working. Hey, you don't understand what we're getting this one? You get this one. This one easy. Right? Is that 130 divided by this is going to be 14 multiplied by 44, 35. Everybody agrees? For the youth tickets. We're doing this through here.
$620.90.
Right. So it'll be
Second answer.
right. So it'll be 14 multiplied by 44, 35. 44, 35. And what we get?
$620.90.
90 cents, right?
Yeah.
Right. R, what is it about R here? An adult ticket is twice the cost of a youth ticket. Calculate the value of R. So how come they give us these values here? Something wrong with this table, huh? Wait again. Because this divided by this supposed to give you back this. Well, this divided by this. Something wrong with this table. I wonder if this amount should not have been given if they give you something to work with. I feel, you know what going with this? I know what going. Let me tell you what going. Insert column below. That's let me back out this. Let me cut this. I think I know what's going on. Anyway, so let me do what R is, right? So calculate R. They say R is equal to twice the cost of a youth ticket, right? What was the cost of a youth ticket? It will be 2 multiplied by, how much was the cost of a youth ticket? $44 and how much is the cost?
So that didn't make no sense because $44.35 multiplied by the 2 again on the table had $88.70. So that didn't make no sense, that question. You understand? 44.85 multiplied by 2 again. R? No, right. So why does they say that's out of twice the cost? That part of the question didn't make any sense because they give you that.
Yeah, you're very correct. That's let me get back the figure we had here. I know back and back. Yeah. Right. So the cost of an adult ticket is this, right? And then R now would be equal to the 88.70. No, it'll be the total amount, which was 26 how much?
24.8360.
24.8360 divided by the 88.70. So what will be the value of R?
28 tickets.
Tune Boston there, boy. Right, so R is equal to, what you get at, Mia? 28 tickets. Yeah, because there's no money. 28 tickets flat, right? Guys, I don't understand what went on in this question above here. I don't know why they gave the 870, but it is what it is, yes? They should have a letter for this. That's what they should have done. Right. So the bus company pays tax at 15% on each ticket sold. Calculate the taxes paid by the bus company. So each ticket sold, we talk about all the tickets, so we had to add up all these bad boys, right? So to be, let me find the total cost. Right, so total tickets cost. Right, so it's 130 what? Give me the figures. Anybody did that last part? 130 what? 50 cents plus what was Q? 620.90, and then the 24 something. Right? And when we add up all this, what will be the total cost? 35, right? And it's 15% of this. So this is the tax that they have to pay, right? Oh, let's see, hot or cold? Because I didn't do long this real low for yesterday because that plenty rain by. So it places cool. So tax would be 15% of 3235. Everybody good there? What would be my tax? How much dollars?
485.27.
27. Check it over. Check out.
So I get 25.
25, right? Well, you gotta check it over there, Preston. 25. 25.